Good morning, everyone. Naomi Tucker alongside Keith Fusel. What a great day ahead of us, Keith.
Yeah.
Very excited. 3 stakes races, 2 juvenile events.
Yeah.
Not easy handicap, very competitive
It,
heats.
it was it was a competitive card. We had a couple scratches along the way off the turf today, unfortunately. But yeah, we've got some quality racing in store for us a little bit later down the line, starting the stakes, I believe, in race number 6. So looking forward to it. I like some horses on today's card. Yesterday we kind of lulled you to sleep with some chalk, and then all of a sudden some fireworks later in the card. Maybe we'll get that today as well. But looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second too, but fireworks to kickstart the Stronach 5 sequence yesterday.
Yes.
So that was kind of a headline. But as I mentioned, November Stakes Day is here. We have three stakes races coming your way. Very, very exciting. Of course, we also have a promo to bet these stakes races. The first bet promo, as you can see, that is today, 300 grand in purses. But let's have a look at that promo here. First bet, as usual, we'll make sure that you get your money back up to $10 if your bet, which you bet to win, finishes second or third in the races at Laurel Park today. I mean, what a great initiative, right, Keith?
We all suffer bad beats, sometimes race after race after race. So if you're seeing the ball and your horses just aren't getting there to win, second and third, guess what? A little relief is in store for you, right? A little money back. You got to love that. Keeps you churning, keeps you grinding, and I especially like that if you like a little bit of a price play too. Take the shot on the price. You've got that 8-10 to 1 shot that you're confident can get the board. Hey, what's worse? If he doesn't win, you're going to get your money back.
Absolutely. No, I wholeheartedly agree. And
Yes.
especially if you're out here for a lovely Saturday, you might have had a long weekend with Veterans Day off on the Thursday. Maybe you took a day off on the Friday as well. You come here, you have a little bit of a flutter, and you put your $10 here and there. I think that makes for a wonderful day. And we have stakes this weekend, but 2 weekends from now on the Friday and the Saturday, we also have stakes action coming your way. I mean, that whole week is terrific because, I keep saying it, the day before we also have a pie giveaway. So it's just treat after treat after treat every single day here at Laurel Park.
I mean, November, it's a great month. We're still on the 4-day-a-week schedule, right? Things kind of, calm down a little bit in December. But we're going to end November, it looks like, with a bang, no doubt about it. Got to love the pie giveaway on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, I personally am looking forward to that one. Let's see what the current track conditions are like. As we mentioned earlier this morning, and I announced on social media as well, we will not be racing on the turf. We currently have a muddy graded sealed track, but Keith, we were already discussing this. We both anticipate that throughout the day it might start drying out.
I would think so. I wouldn't be surprised if the Harrows come out sooner rather than later. We've seen what this surface is able to. It dries out quickly. Yesterday went from sloppy to muddy, and actually opened it up. It was harrowed later in the card. It was almost hedging towards good condition by the end of that race card yesterday.
Yeah, so keep an eye out on the official going. We anticipate it to continue to be upgraded. Of course, the Maryland Jockey Club track maintenance team doing a terrific job as usual, making sure that the main track is in top condition and playing as fairly as possible. So we'll kickstart race number 1, which kicks off the early pick 5. And our resident analyst Tim Tuller created a ticket for us. He does go deep in this first leg here, 5, 6, 8, and 10 to get you going. Make sure that you're still alive in that first leg. It's always nice to still be in play. Race 2, 2, 8, and 15. Do make a note that race is off the turf. 1 turn mile on the dirt, and the 15 does draw in, who I also used on my ticket because that is Titan's Will. And then in race number 3, he goes a bit tighter. He uses the 5 and the 8. Outkissed, actually my best bet of the day, but does have to do with Bustum Kut, who has run figures to kind of closely match the other 2-year-old. Then race 4, he singles in that 2 other than on the number 3, Princess Kokochin. Look, she's looking for a 4th victory in a row. She's in stunning form. She cleared both her first level allowance conditions. She's going to be tough to beat in that spot. And then in race number 5, 3, 5, 7, and 10 for $48 flat ticket. And I think he also anticipates what you see in the structure of his ticket to have some value in those other races, which makes it then worth going tighter in some of the fields that he feels might be biased towards some of the favorites or the first or 2 line in betting, and then go deep where you think that you might have an upset. So Great structure there, and fingers crossed that he'll continue to fire with a $48 flat ticket. And we'll start talking you through the 9-race strong card. And like I said, 3 stakes races starting in race number 6. Race number 1 is 6.5 furlongs distance. Nickel Claimer Nonwit is a 2 lifetime. And Keith, we landed on the same runner in here, the number 6. Just pick one for Ferris Allen. Only one in the entire field that did any running during his last racetrack visit when getting back to the main track and closing very strongly after wide berth down the lane. I mean, recent form has to speak for something in this field.
Yeah,
right?
and this horse goes second time gelding. You saw the improvement first time gelding. Had a little trouble early on, some light steadies there along the way for Caramanos. Finally got this horse relaxed. It was off of a duel and closed in steadily late. The extra ground, I don't mind. 6.5 should just be fine for that one. The speed, I think it's going to be Costa Muslinda from the inside. Butterfly hops aboard speed. Got in trouble out of the gate last time. Took some play. Took serious play in that bigger field for the 10,000. 2 in Life comes down here. I think this horse is a factor a long way. Dijon, going to use this horse. 10 to 1 morning. I had a struggle lining this particular horse. Soray had it entered for 16. Was a vet scratch back now for the nickel, but he's done so well off the claim, jockey trainer combo. I think there's enough flow this horse might pick up some pieces late.
I thought underneath, aside from the 6 we both agree on, this was kind of a tricky field. I landed on Street Player on the outside. Luis Batista takes right. Look, he took a bit of a share of the money in his race 3 starts back at Monmouth, claiming 12,000. He now also staying at that nickel level here, but I'm wondering if, first off the claim, we can see a little bit of a turnaround for him. Decent work for the level coming in here on the 7th of November, taking a bit of a flyer with a horse that could lay handily from that outside gate as well. As we move along to race number 2, because we got so much action to talk about here. Race number 2 kicks off the early pick 4. I know you're doing a middle pick 4 ticket, excuse me, today here. But race number 2, optional claim and starter allows. We're going the 1-turn mile here on the main track, as we are not racing on the turf. And look, we have similar horses in here. We'll start with your top selection in this spot, which is the number 8 Clubman for Rudy Sanchez Solomon. Victor Carrasco takes the ride. We haven't seen this 7-year-old since the summer. Look, before his last race, was kind of around, but then I guess just wasn't there, a little bit flat that day. I like the fact that he gave him a break, a little bit of a freshener for him, and his figures hold up in this off-the-turf field.
They do. This is a group that he should be competitive in. I've chased this guy. I've always had a soft spot for Club and caught some big price. It's been, you got to go back to Halloween of 2019 to find his last win. So a little bit of a reach here. But
is that where you had him? Did you have him?
I had him back there. Yes, I did. Now, Sanchez Solomon, the barn has been doing very well of late, the last couple months. So Clubman, I think the work pattern, look at the works. He's working steadily, 9th of October, 16th, 22nd, 20th. Looks like he's back. He's okay. He's not going to have to run that mid-80s figure. I like him at the mile distance. He's run some big races here. I think he can maybe move up to get within contention because there's no blazing speed. He's got enough back class to stay within range. If he's in touch at the top of the stretch, I think he can win it.
Yeah, I use Zippy on top. You have him in your exact here. Look, recent form on this 6-year-old runner for trainer Jamie Ness is going to go second after a claim for the Ness stable. Did well first after a claim. Was claimed when he won 2 starts to go at Parks as well. So, no, I think looking at some recency here, he has that stalking ability. Maybe even can go forward, like you said, if there isn't too much speed. But he's going to be tactical no matter what.
I completely agree. That's what the note I've got. Tactical, second off the claim. Ness has been fine with this kind of a level, second off the claim. His barn's been going great guns here for a while. And you're talking about recent form, good recent form. That's kind of zippy. That's kind of Titan's will off the claim, right? Look at his last 2 figures off the claim. He fought hard through good fractions last time, a little fade at the mile distance. He should be able to kind of hound even Thunder, who hasn't been able to hold on those leads at Delaware. Titans Will, I think, is a stayer in here.
See, I had some questions with Titans Will about the suitability of the 1-turn mile for him here, because so far, if you look at his performance over the 1-turn mile at Laurel, kind of a little bit below than some of his best in comparison, but he has won earlier in March over it before, went on the lead. So I wonder, does he want to be alone left on the lead to see out that longer stretch? Because he can catch some horses out.
Absolutely, absolutely. But this, we saw last night, kind of speed, carry on. So yesterday,
True.
for the
Yeah.
most part, it was you had to be within range, top of the stretch. You wanted to be forward. But this guy's last two numbers off the claim, 80, 75. Mid 70 wins this race, in my opinion. And
Yep.
I think those internals were pretty demanding last time, and he held okay. 826.15. I think Clubman, though, I just make that move. I'm going to know about the 3/8 pole, what he's going to do. Yep.
I'll be following your lead
Yes.
there. Race number 3, maiden special weight for the juveniles. So we got plenty of juvenile action coming your way with the 2 stakes event later on today. But this is a fun race to kick things off with. A 6 furlong the distance. Look, my best bet of the day is the number 8 Out Kissed for trainer Robbie Bills, Forest Boys. Let's look at his debut race. Look, he won't be on top. You can see him there comfortably sitting behind the speed in here. Length or 2 off the leaders, which included the Victor line of change. You see the Victor there on the rail. And look, he had the jump on him. This juvenile, though, set down to work. You can see him making that move towards sort of the outside there. Set down to try and collar him. I thought it was a very professional performance. First time out of the box. And the figure, 69 buyer, backs that up.
Absolutely. And Insource could be favored. I might have the line messed up here. Wouldn't be surprised if Outkiss is the favorite over the 5 Bustum Kurt. It's going to go between those two. But now that I look at it, I think it's going to be Outkiss. But yeah, good effort. Schooled well in the mornings. Robbie Bales, Forest Boys, the source handled being down inside, worked outward for that trip, and kept on very gamely to the wire. I thought that was a big effort here for Outkiss. And this race, it also produced a winner, a 25 claimer. I think it was the Jerry Robb horse.
Yeah, Stronger Than Dex
Yes,
came back to win out of it too. He ran a 51 buyer next time out. So yeah, no, this was a good form race. I thought, look, possibly the only juvenile on the field that has run figures to match and has a little bit more experience underneath his belt is Bustum Kurt for trainer Claudio Gonzalez. Look, both his last occasions, he actually had a speed duel working against him. He was kind of used a little bit, had to work for it. On paper, he's the clear speed. The problem is we don't know what the firsters are going to do.
Yeah, he's speed, and so is Back in the Woods. You see, interesting, the blinkers go on. A speed horse is an angle that Robin likes.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to just kind of be reined in a little bit. Sometimes the blinkers will do that for us. You're thinking, well, it's going to put more speed. Sometimes not. So, yeah, I think Bustum Kurt, he can handle it. I think the flow is going to be okay for him. He's going to stay around it. He's seasoned. Look at these efforts. American Playboys come back to run okay. Bold Leaders run all right in an allowance race. So he's probably kept more proven company than you can say about Outkissed.
Yeah, well, I think Outkiss is the unexposed sort in here. That was the first run. That was a really good performance. I feel that we can build on that. We say that often with kind of runners that you just haven't really seen what they can do just yet. And I thought that was a great starting point for his career to build upon. So I'm taking the sort of the unknown of the progression, whereas I guess in a way, Bustum Kurt, we've seen him 3 times now. We know what he can do. Yeah. He'll have to kind of also progress a tiny bit, if to out-progress possibly Outkissed, if that all still makes sense, with the juvenile development in here. Let's talk about one of the firsts we use as well. Both those use script, is by Algorithms, Graham Motion trains. Algorithms, pretty decent, 15% winners with his 2-year-old firsters. Half brother to a stakes-placed runner in Trap saying with Clement, but that was going long on turf. 92 buyers, has one of his siblings that won first time out.
Absolutely. The only negative there is Motion. That stat, I kind of bring it in here with these 2-year-old firsters on the dirt. He's 1 for 17 the last 3 years, 8 for 17 in the money. Wouldn't surprise me if this horse hits the board, but one of these horses are really going to have to step up, Naomi, to kind of take the top spot from the 5 or the 8 in here.
Well, so I feel it's accurate to use this firster underneath because, yes, with Graham Motion in general, I think he likes to give them a bit of a nice positive experience before really tuning them up to get that win on board. So using them underneath, I think, is a very viable option in this spot with those 2 kind of heavyweight-looking horses.
Exactly, and you throw the 4 in here as well as I do. I know the horse you couldn't find with a search warrant, right, in the Maryland Million Nursery, 56-1, but they thought enough to try him in there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of maybe a public workout for this horse. Maybe Al loves just to come back. Jerry Robb at a big price. We'll throw this one in. The works have been good leading up
looked at
to
the
that
works.
debut, and then afterward was good.
Yeah, I looked at the work again coming out of that race, making me think, look, there must be something there if you're working a minute flat and 2. I mean, for a 2-year-old, that's very, very fast.
Yes.
So I'm taking a bit of a shot here as well with Jerry Robb and the X-Man. We know the X-Man likes to put them in the race as well. Race number 4, optional claim at 2 other than middle pick 4. Rainbow pick 6 starts here too, but
Yes.
you created a middle pick 4 ticket, so we're going to see how you play it.
So the real good ticket gets later today. You're going to have it on the show, Callie's pick 6 ticket. So that's what I know everybody's waiting for. But I'm going to try the middle pick 4. Things took a little bit of turn. We had to go back and make a late adjustment with a key scratch. I had a single in race 5 with a 9 who's now scratched. Now look at race 5, how many I've got. So race 4 will
that
start
changed
off.
everything.
Yeah, with Princess Kokachin. The 4 she answered looks like the one lurking to close in if things kind of do fall apart up front. 5 deep there in race number 5 with the 1, 3, 5, 6, and 10. Trim it down here in races 6 and 7, the 3 and the 5. Luna Bell by the best. And race 7, the 2 and the 8. Jeff Runkel with Run to Daylight. Jeff Runkel with a couple horses in the James F. Lewis Stakes. And this bottom horse, No Sabanada. Sorry about the pronunciation, but this horse comes out of some good races. We'll talk about that. There's your middle pick 4. Middle pick 4 ticket. Races 4 through 7 at $20.
I like it. I mean, yes, big scratch in race number 5.
Yeah.
I had the number 9 on top as well. So, yeah, you got to roll with the punches, right?
we
If
do.
they're not running,
You
they
have
can't
to
win.
adjust.
So, we'll adjust. So, make sure for everyone playing tickets at home and on course, check the scratches on Equibase because, of course, we do have a couple of changes that came in throughout the morning. Race number 4, 2 other than optional claim it, fillies and mares 3-year-old and up. 5.5 furlongs the distance. To me, it seems this is nearly a one-horse race. Do you see Princess Kokachin getting beaten in this spot?
Listen, they can all get beat, okay?
True.
That's the key. They can all get beat. Nobody's essential. Look at the Ravens the other night, right? Okay, against the Dolphins. I know you didn't watch the game, but anything can happen. Any sport,
True.
you name it, horse
Very
racing,
true.
football,
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Princess Kokachin, yeah, she's on a roll. What she's won? 3 in a row.
Yep.
Numbers up, and up. There's a lot of speed in this race. She can't have a hiccup out of the gate, and that's that just unpredictable stuff here in horse racing. Out of the gate, so many things can happen. She comes away cleanly. She's going to be awfully tough to beat, no doubt about it. I'm going to use the 4 as a closer, but looking at Princess Kokachin real quick. Hey, look at Jerry Robb with these fillies and mares. I went back and got a little stat on him. He's 38% with the fillies and mares winners last out, spreading on the dirt. 43% when they come off of a top fig. That's what you're going to get with Princess Kokachin. To say he has a kind of a way with the fillies and mares, strong, Jerry Robb there. And I think she can sit if she needs to. I think she can sit just off of it. Yeah.
I mean, Anna's Bandit, Street Loot, do we
I
need
got
to
him
say
Fiat
more?
is free, Hydra, you name it. Yeah.
He does incredibly well with these fillies
Yeah,
and mares.
he
So
does.
I think he just knows how to keep them peaking for so long.
Yep.
Look at Anna's Bandits for years and
Oh,
years
yeah.
she was around. So yeah, definitely the man for the job for sure. So look, Princess Kokachin all the way for me.
Okay.
I know that she's a single as well with Tim Tulloch's
Tim.
early pick 5. So yeah, I'm all aboard. But you used the number 4. I used the 6 to possibly get a little piece of Margie's Heaven. Is going to show some speed, but I do think she hangs around, and that's why I use her underneath.
She's a fighter. She's
Yes.
a chaser. She needs to be and can stay. I like that. Hanging around, she can. Princess Kokachin, we go back to her real quick. I mean, I talked about other speed in this race. I mean, look what she outran last time. She ran that. If you go back and look at that, there's some really fast horses, pretty low, very quick, and she was able to kind of get to the front on that. But need be, I think she can sit just off of it. But she answered 2 good races back to back. We're coming off of a little break, but she has that tactile speed and a number to back it up to back that works. Her last race produced a winner when she won with that 68. She'll sit the trip. Even a bomb would be money from heaven. Should lay about 8 or 10 to 1 could close into it. But yeah, looking forward to seeing the 3 again. She's got some serious talent.
It's a treat to watch her perform
Yeah.
on the racetrack. And on that note, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be
Got it.
back with the rest of the card. Welcome back to Laurel Park. We are 1 race away from the start of the stakes action. We're on race number 5, maiden claiming 10 to 8,000, 6 furlong the distance here. And look, we did have a scratch in here as well that made me end up on the 10. Christine's Cosmo Net Allied is not lining up in this field, but Pearlyville has speed. I like the cutback for her. I think she needs that. She made a sharp move around the turn in her last race, actually. She didn't completely stop. Now, the winner, My Dream Girl, cleared away with How Lucky, which kind of made the rest of them not look too good.
Right.
But I like Purleyville for trainer Lacey Gaudet in this spot now.
Agreed. Thais Pastina, Lacey Gaudet, they've done some damage. Profitable combination along the way. You got to like that. I think, the turn back has got to be the key. She made a move. I thought she'd sustain a little bit better, but now against this group turning back, the number 2 back works for me. Pace flow is kind of intriguing. Gypsy's Image, the 7 could go. Expect the Sunrise, the 3 I think has got to send out. I thought she'd hold on a little bit better than she did last time. So I'm looking for somebody from just off the pace. Steely Band, good trip. It's been 21 times, though, without a win. 8 seconds. Last race was pretty good. She moved into it and stayed around. A little shortening up in distance, kind of tough to leave out of your exactas and try it. An encouraging debut for the 1 as well. Got a good reason. I'll throw that one into the mix. 10-5-1-3. I also threw the 6 in with the firster in my pick 4 ticket, middle pick 4. Lots of ways to go. No stone cold winner at all in here, though.
Always base at least put the first one at maiden 10 level as well, just because you're not sure how good they'll perform. First stakes race on the card, race number 6, the Smart Halo for the juvenile fillies, sprinting 6 furlongs of distance. And look, Keith, I went back and forth to this race. At first, I had Luna Bell as my top selection, who you have on top, because of the trouble that she had in her last race. The only problem with her, I think she's very good. I think she's going to show us with a bit of a cleaner trip today what she can do. But you have to time her to perfection. And that's what worries me. Is she going to get there in time? There is enough pace tied on to set it up for her, though.
Agreed. I think there's plenty of speed in here. Starts with the Laurel. Trade Secret likes to be forward. Sparkle Sprinkle. We know Buff My Boots is fast. Let's watch this race. So this is the Maryland Million Lassie. A couple horses also out of there. Sparkle Sprinkle. You're going to see Buff My Boots, who rode the inside. That was the place to be on the 23rd of October. So did Sparkle Sprinkle. Great ride there by the X-Man. Saving ground, easing out. Pick up the 2 horse here in the green cap, second to last, top of the stretch. Right there. Yep. Making that move. Momentum was stalled. Takes her a little bit of while. You made a good point. Takes her a little bit to get ramped back up, Naomi. That was the key. She stays inside on the better part of the track, angles out late, but boy, does she finish with good energy.
I know look the 4 at that here. She just goes flying.
Yeah, and she's kind of got to just work her way between. You see the jock hesitating a little bit, coming to the wire. She galloped out well. Surprised to see her bet down that much in that race. This was a tough race to line. I want 3-1 at least on anybody. I think we can get about 9-2 on her when it's all said and done. But this was a tough race. My top pick scratched. Intrepid Daydream, who I like for Gary Cabb, was a scratcher this morning. So I land on Luna Bell to sit the trip from off the pace.
Yeah. So like I said, I had her on and off, and I ended up using the number 5 by the best on top here, who I also think can sit behind the pace setup in here. So I've gone with both 2 closing style runners because of the abundance of speedsters on the inside and on the outside. But she showed a terrific flexibility in her running style, actually, for a juvenile, coming from further back against a tough, known as a lifetime at Delaware with solid figures. Jamie Rodriguez remains on board, knows what she can do. I mean, she won by 7 and 2 1/4. Excuse me, I read that wrong. 2 1/4, like very comfortably away. So ended up using her on top just because I'm afraid of Luna Bell not getting there in the nick of time. I think she's capable of winning. That's why I have her in second. But
I think the key with By the Best for me, from a handicapping standpoint, and I always say the elephant in the room, the Lasix comes off. We've seen these Delaware horses. They run the big numbers. They come back here, maybe not so good. That's a question mark. She comes close to those 67, 71. The way she did it, she's going to get the jump on Luna Bell. I would certainly think so.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I can see that's why you need to give her a little bit of edge as well. But that's the key. Buff My Boots, Sparkle Sprinkle, these other ones proven. They're running their races. I even think Click to Confirm can bounce back. I got 20-1 on the line. You're not going to get that now, I don't think. Just a real dismal effort, but comes back quick, makes me think something was there. And she beat Buff My Boots and Sparkle Sprinkle, right? A couple races back with that duel setting things up for her. The 1 from the rail we got to talk about, Asmussen's horse.
Right.
I wasn't in love with who she beat last time. She started out running against some good horses, don't get me wrong. she's going to feel a lot of pressure here. She beats me. She beats me.
I just find it so tricky not to include an Asmussen horse in my top 4 because when he brings them over here, he wins at 31%, in the money at 59%. Yeah. So I have her in the money because he does that over half of the time when he brings runners over. Look, we know what the plan will be with her. She's going to move forward. She is going to take a fair bit of pressure. Look, Fergal Lynch will know what to do. Him and Asmussen teaming up every time here. He's a veteran rider for a reason. He doesn't always ride in every single race. He rides the better horses, gives them that kind of trip that they need. So wanted to use her as a saver underneath because you can't leave her out. And we know that the figures from Indiana Grande kind of have transferred here in the past. So it's, you don't want to completely knock them sideways here. So I had to use her. And then you give some love to Above My Boots. I kind of wanted to have her higher just because of the heart that she showed when winning the Maryland Million Lassie, when holding off My Thoughts. It looked like she was done, actually, and she came back at her again.
They come back. They decent enough break. That was a real demanding race for both of them once they, really took it from the top of the stretch home. They rode the better part of the racetrack. Now they move outside. Let's see how that, unfolds again. Will that be a player in here? I'm going to just knock up that just a notch because of that factor. Looking for the closer, maybe in Luna Bell or Buy the Best, or even click to confirm as your price play. So very competitive race. It was a difficult race to line. And we move on now, to the boys.
The James F. Lewis, from one competitive field to another deep field here, the 2-year-old boys lining up. Let's start with a replay that includes the 2 Jeff Runco runners here. Run to Daylight, and Midships was in there as well. And look, Run to Daylight, in comparison to his other races, didn't get away well.
No, you got kind of squeezed back a little bit here. A little sandwich maybe broke just a step slow ever so slightly. And when you do that, odds are a horse is going to come in, another one's going to come out, you're going to be in the best spot. Didn't face this horse, though. Was 2 for 2 going into the Moscow. It comes back. It is now 3 for 3. This is a sharp move this horse makes into the pace. 23.47. That's solid at Charlestown. It just cruises up to the stablemate Amidships, right? Gets the better of that one, top of the stretch. The 4 is kind of in deep now. The 2 gets scrubbed on a little bit, but is able to go clear. Naomi wins at 2 1/4 when it's all said and done. 4 ran a big race there.
Amidships, who's in here as well. The 2, Jeff Runk. I thought Amidships actually ran a bit harder because he shot from the gate and did all the work in front, doing a lot, tiring ever so slightly. I thought Run to Daylight actually, even though he got squeezed back and he missed a break, that helped him here. They weren't holding back on the lead there, and I think Amidships took a bit of the brunt of that. And, it was an interesting way to look at sort of the pace setup and how that could have benefited one or the other, but find them very, very tough in here. I landed on the number 7 though, Locomotive for trainer John Saltzman Jr. Look, the rail, you were saying, seemed very solid on Maryland Million Day. He was just off it, and that race never got a moment to breathe. He was under pressure. He had Mr. Mox pressuring from the outside. Buffalo was on the rail. He was sandwiched in between. Locomotive, ultra game all the way, eyeballing Buffalo, wasn't giving up, just slightly tired, belated. I know there's a fair bit of speed in here, but I like the high draw, gives JD some options here. So I'm kind of banking on JD to spy the speed and say, hey, if we're going to move forward, we'll move forward. But otherwise, maybe sit, on their quarters and get like that perfect kind of trip and then pull him out and go for it because he's game. Yeah,
and you said big field, 14 horses. The short comment held well, okay? Even though the horse looks like it maybe gave up some ground light, was still trying, giving good effort to the line. And you know what? I should probably have him in underneath. I'll use him in my exacta boxes. I'll key around the 2 and the 8. He could be the speed when you really break it all down as well, because you've got that aggressive rider in Acosta. This horse will be put into the race, and he's going to stay around. The 8 intrigues me though. I'm not totally familiar with the trainer. Smaller, sample of horses, but 33% D. Scott Peck doing well. No Sabanada. I go back to the last 2 races. Now, this was the horse coming off of Lasix, but ran good numbers without. That Rocky Run, big race, strong race. Cook Creek came back. That's an O'Dwyer runner. Came back to run 78 in a Grade 3 Nashua in New York. The 2-back try was a triple key race. Speed to unfold. It will be able to drop in and save some ground around the turn before unleashing that run. I think this horse is a player in here. And talking about the Runco horse real quick, go back to Run to Daylight. He came down with Coastal Mission, who wasn't nearly as experienced and had only 1 race under his belt. That was the brother to Louisfield. He runs a big second. I think this horse is a little bit more proven Run to Daylight. So if you can kind of wonder if you ask him, maybe this horse is a little bit more talented in Coastal Mission. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's actually run to daylight from the 2 Jeff Runker runners. I think he's possibly just a touch better than his stable mates. That's why I use him in second. But I gave a lot of credit to Local Motors. Really tenacious effort and hopefully a bit of an easier trip for him today. Last of the stakes races is race 8, the 38 Go-Go. Mauen 16, the distance. Look, I'm going with another Steve Asmussen runner in here, the number 7, Josie, who was a strong rolling late third in the Twixter. And look, we see Artful Splatter getting an absolutely beautiful trip. That's what she loves.
Oh, yeah. Likes the freewheeling on the front end and, just kind of opened up and really runs a big race. The 18th of September inside and speed was pretty good, right? So, Josie, I thought ran well, all things considered. You see this 4 wide, kind of against the grain of the racetrack. You've got a lone speed and just kind of churns it out, grinds it out here, gets floated out a little bit late. But I like the effort. And with Artful Splatter drawing outside, now I'm not saying she necessarily needs the lead. I think she can kind of prompt the pace of the one, Sosua. Those two might get in a battle, though, leaving the far turn,
I think so,
into the stretch here, leading things for Josie to maybe try to save a little bit more ground earlier as well. But it's trying. Asmussen, we've got a stat we could have used on the other race, but 5 for 14, 36%, 10 for 14 to 1 with the non-graded stakes in Maryland over the last 3 years on the dirt. 260 is your ROI. I like Trolley Ride as my price play. I've got this horse on top. I'm going to kind of key box around the 7 and the 8 in here. Use those top and bottom. But Trolley Ride's a horse I think she's coming back to one of her top races. I know she was beaten by Miss Leslie. I go back to the race at Pimlico. Man, Caesar's Wish, what a big effort. Made a move, a big, quick move around the turn, the final turn, and just couldn't hold on, but was dead game. She's cycling back towards that top number. She's going to slip away at a price.
I like that little price fade. Their final race on the card, Maiden Special Weight, 5.5 furlongs on the main track. Is the first-time starter on the rail for Jerry. Rob going to win?
Well, and I did not look at the breeding real quick. Usually I do when I set the morning lines and everything. I came back. I said, man, thank goodness it's off the dirt. I got a little excuse, a built-in excuse. Yeah, now on the dirt, I think this horse is going to be much lower than the 10-1 line. I have to Street Loot, right? We know Street Loot, in which she's done, like a 7 or 8 time winner, multiple stakes type. A lot of hope. Editorials only had 2 runners. One of them, though, did win debut and ran a big second coming back. That was a Tim Woolley horse. My thoughts in the Maryland Million Lassie. So I'll take a shot here off the turf.
Like
Jerry
that.
Robb.
Yeah, I landed on the number 6 Sunday Mischief. Buy into Mischief. Terrific works leading up to this. Just very, very sharp. As we'll move along to lightning round. Well, that Stronach 5 was not an easy one to figure out.
No.
Big priced winner, My Super Sally, $30.60 she paid. She came from the clouds.
Good job by Rebecca Labar, right? Just settled off the pace. It was very quick for this group and did something that not many of the horses have been able to do here. Close into it from that far back. Circle's about 6 wide. Where are you?
We're looking
for you. Here she comes, just rolling on by, and good to see. An outfit that doesn't run a ton of horses get to the winner's circle, and certainly Rebecca LeBrun. She's got a little talent, and look at this keying off. I thought there was going to be a carryover, Naomi.
Nearly $100,000 on that one lucky ticket holder.
Jeez.
Well done.
Yes.
Kudos, especially with the big price winner at Golden Gate Fields as well. Let's move along to the next topic. In honor of Miguel Mena, jockeys across the United States will be wearing black armbands today in memory of Miguel Mena, who unfortunately we lost not too long ago. And the Jockeys Guild was the one that set this up, and they said, we hope this show of support and affection will bring some comfort to his immediate family, his wife April, and daughters Neila and Montserrat, as well as his many friends throughout the racing industry. So I know that the jockeys here today will be wearing the black armbands as well. So very unfortunate that we lost him way too soon. So my thoughts go, of course, to all his friends and dear family. Final note here, the match series is back. We see the series continue with our final stakes card for the final stakes for the ladies, the 38 Go-Go Stakes. And that is wrapping up the morning show for us here today. Keith, good luck.
That was a lot. 24 minutes to post. We ran a little over today, I guess.
We had a lot to talk about.
Yes, we did. We had a lot of stuff to talk. Good card, though. Good betting card. Like the picks today. Box them. Hopefully we make a little bit of money.
Yeah, good luck to everyone.
You got it. Good luck.